COPWATCH, policing the police every single day.
No, she doesn't. She said she was going to start a community review board and she has not. She said she would talk to Hillary about the Baker Act abuse. She hasn't. Her records request responses are some of the worst. She also brought back the dogs to eat people. She won't investigate the stories of corruption from Tom Lewis about others there. She is dirty just like the Baltimore department that she came from. New Punta Gorda police chief gets good early review. By Ann Easker. Staff writer. Since Chief Pam Davis took over the leadership of the Punta Gorda Police Department in January, she's gotten to know residents and business owners and made some policy changes. People have already made me feel a part of the department, she told the Sunday Day One. I didn't feel like an outsider. Davis came from the Baltimore Police Department, where she was the director of the Professional Development and Training Academy. Moving to a smaller department was a big change. Chief Davis has accomplished a great deal in her first 6 months, and most noteworthy is her ability to move the department forward in training and policies, enhance morale, fill position vacancies, stabilize department leadership and establish a genuine rapport with all sectors of our community, said City Manager Howard Kunnick. She has ingrained herself into Punta Gorda, and the feedback I receive from the business and residential community are overwhelmingly positive and reassuring. We look forward to progressive, community-oriented policing for years to come. Mayor Rachel Kiesling said it was clear Davis' background in police training and assessments would be a valuable asset to the community, and that's evidenced by her first 6-month review. She has praise for the department, but yet she is able to outline a specific plan to move forward, Kiesling said. I personally feel she has added a level of stability we needed. Prior to Davis' hire, the department had experienced a difficult year and a half. In August 2016, retired citizen Mary Knowlton was fatally shot by former Punta Gorda police officer Lee Coell during a community demonstration. Both Coell and former police chief Tom Lewis were charged by State Attorney Stephen Russell for crimes related to the incident. While Lewis was acquitted of culpable negligence by a jury trial last summer, he was ultimately fired from the department for a lack of attention to citizen safety in repeated community events. After months with an interim chief and several changes among command staff, Davis entered the department with plans to begin by assessing morale. As a former fellow with the Police Executive Research Forum, she had experience working with struggling agencies throughout the country, talking to staff, analyzing policies, and making recommendations for improvement. Every single one of them, when we talked to the officers, they would tell you the morale is the worst it's ever been. This place is terrible, I hate change, I hate what I'm doing right now, she said. But here I did not get that at all. At PGPD, she said there was initially some anxiety, as there always is with changes in leadership, but everyone was receptive and excited to move forward. Policy changes were a group effort, with input from everyone affected. The biggest change so far, she said, has been additional safety requirements for training exercises. While the department previously required a safety officer for training exercises, the officer's responsibilities were never spelled out clearly. You can't have a safety officer who's also participating in the training or is an instructor, she said. That person has to be there just by themselves, watching everything that's going on as well as checking weapons and making sure everybody's been searched. The new policy gives detailed responsibilities for the designated safety officer, including participating in a planning meeting, inspecting the training site for any hazards and developing a plan to mitigate those hazards, conducting a safety briefing at the start of the training and maintaining general awareness during the training to address any safety concerns. Both officer training and any demonstrations with citizen involvement now require a written safety plan, which must be approved by the employee development coordinator, the operations captain, and Davis herself. Once we all like how it's written out and we're all happy with the safety measures taking place, then we sign off on it and say okay, you can do the training, she said. In a recent community event with Leadership Charlotte, the department used the agency's use of force simulator, which is like a video game that responds to officers' actions. By observing the simulation, community members got an idea of the training officers do and how officers should behave in a certain situation. Even for that simulation, Davis said everyone was searched prior to entering the sectioned off area to make sure no weapons were brought into the area. For community events, Davis said she would avoid using even simunition weapons, which fire non-lethal rounds used for officer training. Even though the simunition guns are designed that they will not take live rounds, it doesn't matter to me, and it doesn't matter to anyone in this agency, she said. Everyone's searched, and you will not bring anything in there. The agency, and agencies across the country, all learned from the tragedy in 2016, Davis said. Last week marked the 2-year anniversary of the incident, and Davis said it was probably tough for members of the agency, though they keep moving along. The one thing you've got to remember is they don't forget that happened, she said. These guys have learned, we've all learned from that. Yeah, it was probably tough, but again they're very talented, dedicated people here trying to move forward, but they remember it every day. Other policy changes since Davis started include removing the no tolerance policy for drugs in PUNTA GORDA schools, which previously required arrests, rather than civil citations, for all juveniles found with any type of drug. Here in Charlotte County we have a diversion program where if it's a first-time offense and it's a small amount of marijuana, they can be given a civil citation and put into a diversion program, Davis said. So to us, that makes a lot more sense to have these kids educated about the reasons you don't want to use these drugs as opposed to just putting handcuffs on them and now you're done with them. The change brought the department in line with other schools in the county, where Charlotte County Sheriff's Office deputies generally issue citations. The biggest challenges for Davis have been adjusting to a small department, which has limited resources. Coming from a bigger agency, she said she's used to being able to pull 5 officers to attend a community event or do foot or bike patrol, but with PGPD, there may only be 4 officers on patrol on any given day. We're doing well, I think, with what we have, she said. There's just other things I hope I'll be able to do at some point in time. The agency is always looking for innovative ideas, Davis said, and has recently started some new things, including incorporating a K-9 team at Charlotte High School. More kids will want to interact with that school resource officer if they can come up and pet that dog, Davis said. Think about the relationship that's going to build with those kids. We're testing it out and it's working great so far. The department is also creating a new volunteer service unit focusing on pedestrian and bicycle safety, which they hope to get up and running this month. Email, aeasker@sun-herald.com. Chief Pam Davis at the Punta Gorda Police Department. Sun photo by N. Esker. Police use who may want to retaliate against him physically.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use. And also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.